Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So I wanted to react to an episode of Nick Cannon's podcast where he had Candace Owens on the show, and they touched upon a whole range of different topics, very interesting topics. They spoke about the influence of the Democrats over Black America that has gone on for centuries.
I don't know how to say it, like, because you put it as a victim mentality,
right?
But because the truths are the truths. We see where it's harsh, and we see that this system was not designed for us to win, but it's not really designed for anyone to win except for that top 3 or 1%. So,
and yet, remarkably,
right?
And this is the thing that I can't understand, because it's a paradox.
Yeah.
Black America will say, this system wasn't built for us, and yet they insist on more system. Right. The first thing they do is say,
right,
we need reparations. Well, how's that going to happen? We need more government. And I just go, have you paid attention to anything that has happened in this country?
Right.
Have you paid attention and gone backward and understood how you got into this predicament? How you could possibly think it's almost an abusive relationship. Like the solution is I just got to go back to that person that just keeps punching me in the face.
She spoke about things that Kanye has told her, because they're friends, and the CIA and a small group of people controlling everything.
But I don't think there's this ultimate puppet master or this group of. I've looked for the group. I want to know who these guys are that are so rich and powerful that they pass it on to their, their offspring and their bloodlines, and they're all keeping the darkness in the world going. I can't find that physical group.
Well, I'm telling you that the CIA is a part of a group and a global conspiracy to enslave mankind. So let's just go small picture here. The CIA, definitively.
Okay.
Definitively. Kanye told me years ago, because I am not a person, I have to learn things in a book. I need to order the right books. I love to read. But he said something to me, and it sounded wild when he said it to me, that they made him bipolar. I think he said that, and I don't want to misquote him, but he said something like they made me bipolar, and he was on one of his rants, and it was difficult for me to kind of discern what he meant. And I was there with him when Harley Pashnik was texting him like a totally normal trainer saying, we're going to put you back into a hospital and you'll never see your kids again. Totally normal for your gym trainer to be saying that to you. Totally normal stuff. I think he's an issue. But anyways, he had said that, and that did not make sense to me. I don't want to say it sounded crazy. It just didn't make sense to me. Then I read that book, Chaos.
A very, very interesting podcast. But the part I want to react to, I'm sure you can guess, is when they talk about the transgender issue and calling somebody who's male a woman, or calling a female a man. Where do we draw the line? They spoke about the importance of truth. And is it unkind to tell people the truth? Is it based on beliefs? Is truth relative to our belief systems? Is truth relative to how we feel? Now, as you can guess, I agree with Candace on this one. I don't agree with her on everything. She's friends with the Tate brothers, and I'm not a fan. But on this topic, I think she was spot on. I think she made it very clear that she stands on the side of truth. And it's okay to tell the truth. It's not mean to tell somebody the truth, especially if it's told, in kindness and in love. And in fact, it's the opposite. When we encourage lies, when we encourage delusion, when we encourage people to live outside of reality, there are consequences to that. So where this starts off is Nick saying that Candace owes certain people an apology. And it's one thing to apologize for maybe how you said something. Maybe you said it in a very mean manner, although just telling the truth in itself can be considered mean. But it's another thing when your apology essentially means that you are backtracking on what you said and what you stated. So if me apologizing means that I'm now going to have to pretend that men can be women, I'm not apologizing for anything. So let's take a look.
Of course, respectfully. If you say to me you should respect people, I always respect people. I would disrespect you if I lied to you. I'm not going to call a man a woman. I'm not going to call a woman a man. I'm not going to say sorry for saying telling the truth.
Your beliefs.
It's not my belief. A woman cannot be a man. A man cannot be a woman. It's not a belief.
But I'm saying in your perception of the world is different from someone else's, because just as emphatic as you are, that you believe what you just said, there's someone that believes emphatically the opposite.
There's nothing more objective than biological reality. When it comes to biological sex, there's nothing more objective than that. We're not talking about something that could be open to interpretation, that could be based on our worldview. A man is a man and a woman is a woman. And when we start going down that road of saying that this is my truth, somebody who's male can say that my truth is that I'm a woman. And of course, people do say that this is their truth. They're living their true, authentic self. Once we start going down that path, where does it stop? Because people like to pick and choose when we can embrace certain beliefs that aren't rooted in fact, that aren't rooted in reality. People like to pick and choose. When a white woman says that they're black, that they're actually a black woman, because of their experience in life, because of their belief, we ridicule that person. We call that person a liar. We even call that person a thief. Rachel Dolezal, she obtained a scholarship to a historically black college, and we called her a thief. You stole from a black person.
There were some people that felt that you never identified yourself as white. So like when you went to Howard University, some people felt like they never knew you were white, you were black. And so they felt like maybe the scholarship or when you got admitted to Howard, that took an opportunity from a black woman. So that's why a lot of people, it's like you can identify as beautiful, but we're trying to understand why in some instances you never told people that you were white.
Yeah.
But when a male athlete wants to compete in the women's category and ends up winning or ends up getting a place in a women's competition, when someone points out that that guy stole from a female athlete, we get called bigots, we get called transphobic. The people love to pick and choose when beliefs take over truth. Can't have it both ways.
Okay, so what you're talking about is the idea that everything can be subjective and there's no such thing as truth. And let me tell you why that. But that's why it's either a yes or a no.
No, because we're either talking about feelings or facts.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I believe there is objective truth. Okay.
Okay.
A person that is born a man, okay, a person that is born with a penis, as we call it, okay, cannot ever grow up and give birth. Do we agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, so there is such thing as an objective truth.
Where did we get to the point where we had to think about that? I don't know. Maybe 10 years ago, you would say yes without even thinking. But now it's like, do I need to make sure I'm not going to sound like a bigot if I say yes? And then there's people who just say, no, I don't agree. This is where we're at now.
I will not apologize for sharing objective truth. I'm not going to apologize for not saying because his feelings are hurt and do you see how I feel? Because
so you have no problem going throughout the world hurting people's feelings.
I have no problem going out the world. That's one way to pitch it. Telling people the truth so they can better their lives. So they can live in reality and not the one.
But what if someone believes that is a better life for them?
Okay, well let's play your way then. Let's do it the other way. There are a group of people who are now referring to themselves as minor attracted people.
Oh, I knew you was going. Can't go there.
Hey, but that's what they believe. They believe that they are in love and want to have.
See, the picking and choosing once again. Because we are embracing certain beliefs. Over in Canada, we have a grown 50-year-old man swimming with 12-year-olds, 12, 13-year-old girls. This is where your don't hurt their feelings leads to. Oh, he's not just swimming with 13-year-old girls, he's in the locker room with them. There are consequences to living outside of reality and encouraging delusion. Women who have had medals taken from them, that hurt their feelings, but that doesn't seem to matter. Women who've had to be forced in situations where there are males in a locker room with them undressing and seeing them in a state of undress, that certainly hurts the feelings of those women, of those females. But again, that doesn't seem to matter. So we're going by feelings. Why don't we care about the feelings of those who are affected when we don't embrace the truth? The women who are affected by telling men that they can be women. The women who are affected when we say that men can breastfeed and that their milk is just as nutritious and just as good for the baby as the mother's milk. I mean, come on. This is how far we've taken it. Now she's talking about, getting into a territory that has arisen because we have gone down a certain path. This is where it leads to. And it's uncomfortable, but we need to face the reality. That when you go down this path, and this is what we've done, because we don't want to hurt people's feelings, we're now getting to a point where we're accepting all sorts of things. This is another example. When we say that kids can consent to puberty blockers and surgeries, all sorts of medication so they can transition, when we imply that kids can consent to those things, what else can they consent to? Where does it lead to? Of course, it's going to lead to believing that kids can consent to certain relations that only adults should be engaging in. We need to get back to acknowledging the truth, even if it hurts people's feelings. But while we're still tiptoeing around, saying that the truth is bigotry, the truth is some sort of phobia, we're always going to keep coming back to where we are today. And it's even affecting our legislation. And it's dangerous. It's outright dangerous. It doesn't do us any favors, especially women, children, the most vulnerable. So yeah, she's getting into a territory that obviously makes people uncomfortable, but this needs to be addressed.
With children. They believe that, Nick. They believe it. And are you going to apologize when you call them pedophiles? Are you going to apologize, Nick? Are you going to have them on your podcast? Don't you understand how they feel on the inside when you say that they can't have sex with 8-year-olds?
That is a hell of a point.
It is. The slippery slope is not a fallacy. It is reality. We are living the slippery slope. So somebody's going to have to produce the wall. So there's going to be a lot of voices that need to be objective and tell people the truth. I'm very happy to be those voices. If you're looking for me to, make you feel good, I can't be your mommy. I can't. That's why I tell people, I can't be your mommy.
But see, that's what I was like.
Get a helmet.
What do you have to say to the trans students on this campus who feel actively victimized by your presence here?
Life's tough. Get a helmet, man. I'm too pregnant for this. Okay, I'm not your mommy. You're not a toddler. You're an adult.
But see,
this is what truth is. And if you can't deal with truth, then you're going to have a very tough life, way tougher than having to listen to Candace Owens say, you are a man on the internet.
And that's what it comes down to. And I appreciate Nick acknowledging that she's made a good point. Because sometimes people are so disingenuous when you engage in this conversation. They won't even acknowledge the points that you're making. They will just basically start calling you names, trying to demonize you. Well, you must hate a certain group of people then. You must be a bigot. You must be a racist. You must be this. You must be that. And then obviously those are very strong accusations and the back and forth continues and no one gets anywhere. But Nick inviting Candace to his podcast, that in itself is progress. That in itself is growth. When you can sit down with people who you do not agree with on different topics and actually just have a civilized conversation rather than mudslinging and trying to undermine that person by painting them out to be a hateful person simply because they tell the truth. And where do we get to the point where telling the truth was hateful? Telling the truth was mean even? If you are indifferent or you have hatred towards certain people, you wouldn't tell them the truth. You would just leave them in their lie and allow them to walk into their own destruction. But when you love people, when you care about people, you're not going to sit back and be indifferent, or you're not going to lie to people. You're going to tell them the truth. I think we need to change our mindset when it comes to this whole idea of my truth, his truth, her truth. And again, people can have their opinions. People even believe in this live and let live. I think that's what Nick was kind of alluding to. Let people live how they want to live. Why are you interfering with that? But unfortunately, it's gone beyond that. Because the people who want to live and let live, they also want to dictate to people how they should think, that they should deny biological facts. And that's where the line has now been crossed. And like she said, somebody's got to draw the line. And it's not hard. It really isn't. If we can just stick to biological facts, men are XY, women are XX, that is a very good place to start. So thanks for watching. Thanks to everybody who has sent super thanks. I thought I was on top of all of it, but I've seen some recently that I never responded to. So again, thank you for your generosity. Thank you for your support. It is much appreciated. You have no idea. Like, comment and subscribe. Take care of yourselves, and God willing, I will see you in the next video.